Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to another edition of our Dailyish Devotionals. I am Pastor Brian, and I had my design team work on a little bit of a different opening slide, thinking we can use a little something to spice something up after 50 times I think we've done this. So I hope you enjoy it. I can't survive without my morning coffee, so I put my design team in charge of the background too, and this is what they came up with. I was flat, honored, humbled that they would pick such a background to put behind me as I gave this devotion. Now, we couldn't get rid of the Bible puns. No, I'm not out of them yet. Maybe laugh. Art. Even Alex approved of that. I don't know if he approved of the angel wings and the little halo, but he approved of that. So, all right, I won't make you stare at the angel. Alex did help me with the background here too. This is the game Minecraft. Maybe you've heard of it. As I'm told, it's maybe the biggest game ever, Dad. Okay. Build things, kill pigs and pork chops, or have pork chops, have beef, and you can raise cows, raise chickens, and you can even fight zombies if you want. But you need to look at building this house. So that'd be a good challenge. The lesson we have today from Ron is perfect. We're talking about how do you know the answer to prayers, how do you know what God's guidance for your life is. I've never seen this quote before, but I like it. The Bible is meant to be bread for daily use, not cake for special occasions. Overlooking the Instructions is the title of Ron's book today. I don't want to stereotype and generalize, but I'm going to. Men have been accused of not reading instructions or putting things together. In my life, maybe I'm not manly enough, but if I don't read instructions, things don't usually go together. I really do try to read the instructions. There'd be nothing more frustrating than getting halfway through something and figure out you screwed something up and you can't fix it, or you got to start over because you missed a step at the very beginning. Maybe it's because I grew up with Legos so much as a youngster where I really had to follow the instructions to put them together. I wasn't a good free builder and make them look quite as powerful. When I think of instructions, I think about years ago when we put together the swing set jungle gym thing for my boys that we had out front. And Jerry Murley volunteered to come over and help me put it together. We opened up the packages with all the boards and nothing was labeled. Right? The board, there's like A, B, C's letters on boards that would correspond with the instructions. No, none of that was labeled. So we had a choice. We could just dive right in. We could throw the instructions away and just guess on our own, but that wasn't an issue. That wasn't going to happen because we never would have figured it out how to do it. Or we could have dove in with the instructions and not have everything labeled. Luckily, I had read a tip post about putting these together, the webpage where I had bought it from, saying go through and label all the boards first. Life here is easier. So we spent the first half a day labeling every board in piece, measuring them so we knew what letters they corresponded to in the book. And it made the second half, the assembly, a lot easier, a lot smoother. When the instructions said board A goes with board B, we glanced where it was labeled, grabbed it, put it together instead of having to measure and know exactly what they were. So there's no doubting following instructions makes things easier. Life is no different. Ron tells us in our book, Overlooking the Instructions, that we've been provided with an instruction manual, the Bible. The question is, do we read it? If we read it, do we take those principles to heart? The Word of God comes from Psalm 119, beginning in verse 99. I have more insight than all my teachers, for I meditate on your statutes. I have more understanding than the elders, for I obey your precepts. And it continues in 104 and 105. I gain understanding from your precepts, therefore I hate every wrong path. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. How do you know where you're supposed to step next? What your next step in life is? Read the Bible and apply the principles to your life. Now, I know I can hear you saying, but there can be so many interpretations of what that means, or that verse, or that story. And they can be taken out of context. You can almost find a Bible verse to prove any point you want. Both sides of the aisle, both sides of the argument, you can find verses to support them, especially if you take them out of context. The major principles are inarguable, if you ask. And if you have questions about a certain text or a story, talk to your pastor. He or she may or may not be able to offer you some insight on how to look at it. Or at least give you some tools to say, well, here's a way to kind of look more critically at it. Speak to someone else you respect, who maybe is more mature in their faith, or just someone else that you respect their opinion, and see what they have to say. And seek other commentaries, people that have written and talked about it, and do some own critical thinking on your own. Well, that's a shock, but sometimes we're required to do our own critical thinking. So if you need to know where you're looking for God's answer, look at the Bible. Ron says, they tell me, well, the Lord hasn't led me. We keep making poor choices because we're looking for some specific personal guidance when the instructions are already in print. Go to the principles of God's Word first. Ron says, you don't need your bedpost light up at night, or you don't need that gurgling feeling in your gut. Look for the principles that are already in writing that apply to the situation. Honor your father and your mother. Might settle a problem. Do to others as you would have them do to you. How would you like to be treated in this situation? Might settle a trouble. Might settle it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Provide things honest and in sight of all men. As much as possible with you, live at peace with all men. If it is within your power to do good, do it. Ron says that verse covers most choices. It is impossible to read the story of the life of Jesus. Let's take that as an example. Not see that he reached out and helped others. By others, I mean those that were not his friends, that did not look like him, those that were not even the same culture as him. He made sure to reach out to love them. Not much is said about his comfort. Not much is said about our seeking our own comfort and status and power. The big principle is, how can you help others? First, their daily physical situation. How do you reach them? Show them God's love. The big principles are there. It's all written down in the Bible. It's bread for daily use. That's why I try and stress so much about daily devotion. Take the 20 to 30 minutes. Read a little part of the Bible. Think about it. Meditate on it. Say a prayer. Spend some time listening for God's response. It needs to be intentional, and it needs to be quiet. Not 10 minutes before you go to bed. Not the 20 minutes while you're driving into work. Those all can be times for prayer. But it's not the intentional relationship building that we need. I keep repeating myself. I may sound like a broken record, but that is where you find help. You might learn something new. I did about Pentecost just yesterday. You're going to tune in Sunday at 10 a.m. on Facebook to find out what this old pastor learned for the first time. Amen.